Hi guys, UC here from iTradePrice. It is December 4th, Sunday morning, a little before noon. Let us get started with our weekly uh, charts review. Let's start with monthly view of NQ, right? Not bad. This is the first time we've had two consecutive months, green months, right? Bottom wicks right here. Still struggling to get above 12,142, but looks like it might do that. Just because we had a nice follow through in the month of November, right? And now December started this past week. We saw a little bit of dip towards 11,750. It got bought, right? And we closed right under this 12,140, 12,000 mark. So let's see if the next week we can try to take that on out in the weekly view. Nice ascending triangle, still again struggling just below 12,140. If we can get above that, definitely looks like it wants to go and touch this downtrend line at least, and if an extension it wants to break out still higher, this trend line, this channel trend line can be the target, and if it still wants to go up, then 12,900 again in a higher time frame. But we'll see how it plays out. But this one is the level to break for bulls, 12,140, right? And on the lower side, 11,750 area remains the support, which we bought on Friday, right? In the morning notes when we shared, 11,750 was sort of the good 61.8% retracement in the fibs. Like if I drop this one right here, oops. So if I do this one right here like this, right? This one was the nice back test as well, right? It was in the lower time frame. It was retest of this broken downtrend line, right? This flag type formation. So all the good quality setups were present for the drop that we saw initially after the NFP, right? So that was a nice trade setup. Like in the 4-hourly, you can see it broke out above this line right here, right? It consolidated NFP report and it just back tested this area, and then we just saw a nice bounce. So that's your trading setup, right? Because if it had gone down below 700, one could have taken a stop loss because the chart would have become weak, right? So that's how you kind of look for these setups. QQQ, let's start with again a monthly view, similar look and feel, just like how NQ futures is, 2 consecutive months, higher highs, higher lows, right? December started off, we saw a little bit of dip, and then we, moved back up. Still have to get above 295.5. In a weekly view, this downtrend line is something that everybody's watching, like the whole FinTwit is watching. That's to kind of, so we might get a pause there initially before we break out, but looks like from the structure perspective, everything looks bullish, nice, as long as this 280.7 is holding. Even if any move is down, we can see if it wants to still go back up or not, but that's how it looks like. In the daily view, you can see the price structure, the bars are dominated, green bars are more dominating, right? Whenever we see a bullish day, there's always some sort of urgency for the price to get back up, whereas in the down day, in the red day, right, there's just this cluster, right? There's this cluster, and the push down has not been that strong. Of course, it can change any moment, but as long as we're above in QQQ above 287.5, because that's sort of the structure low or structure high, both ways. This was structure high right here, right? And now it could act like a structure low, and then it wants to see if it wants to get back above 295.5, go test this downtrend line and see if it wants to go higher towards 303. Okay, so not bad. Let's look at SPY. Similar look and feel, right? This will be the 4th test of this major downtrend line in the weekly time frame, right? Statistically speaking, the 4th time, even if it gets you a little bit of pause or retracement, it usually breaks above the downtrend line, right? Again, if you want to trade that, not bad. You can always trade that with a tight stop loss. In the lower time frame, you can time it like that. But for right now, in a weekly view, we have this series of higher lows from structure perspective, right? This was structure, this was right here, this is right here. So Not bad, right? And now let's see if we get another low and then back towards 420, 430 even, who knows. But there's nothing bearish in the price structure right now. You can see the down days, right? The down days are sort of contained, right? And even if it's a down day, most of the down days, the close is towards the top end of that day's range, right? So that's not bad. That kind of showed us that the underlying price action remained bullish, and even after NFP it got bought, right? So this was the resistance area. So now let's see if this area serves as the support, right? 411, 412 is the number to watch on the upside now. If it can test that, give us a pause, but 420 would be nice. So we're right there actually in the daily time frame. You can see testing this downtrend line, right? So we'll see. And if it is about weakness, definitely if it gets below 400, 402, 401, or all that support zone, and then we'll see if it wants to get back below this uptrend line, and then you can see 390 becomes your sort of downside, initial downside target on the break of this uptrend line. Okay, let's take a look at Amazon weekly chart. It's still weak, given the price action that the overall market has seen a nice bounce in good, Google, Microsoft, Apple, all those nice names, but this one is not really kind of shown any significant upside, right? So still the price structure perspective, it looks weak, right? We have this maybe this downtrend line, this uptrend line, this tightening of the price action, nothing bullish, right? We had this nice bullish week, maybe 3 weeks ago, and since then we have not had any bullish follow through to the upside, right? We have this top wick, so just weaker price action below 97.3. As long as it's below 97.3, the structure remains weak, and we could go towards this green box around, between 85 all the way to 80 or even 73. Doesn't really it looks like it can go there because the urgency for the price to go down is still there, right? From structure perspective, it's just weak. Like, look at this in the daily view, right? 97.3 has been the resistance, and the price kind of gets rejected anytime it wants to get above that. So only bullish if above 97.3. Otherwise, the preference below that remains to the downside, and if it breaks below this sort of this support trend line, we can definitely go towards lower side. Okay, Apple, not bad. Weekly view shows tightening price action, right? We saw a little bit of bounce, again nothing too promising below 150, but from the trade setup perspective, it looks nice if it can get back above this downtrend line for a bullish move towards 157. Only if it gets back under 145, it will be under pressure. And then if it loses 141, 140.4 area, right, you can say the low of this previous week, then definitely this 134, where we have these multiple bounces from, can be the downside target, right? But we have a nice hammer bar on the weekly, so let's see how that one plays out, right? Here's how it looks like in the daily view. This is the downtrend line I was talking about. So if it can get about 149.2, that could be nice for bulls towards 152, 154, and then once it can get above that, 157.5, your sort of the recent highs that it can target. On the downside, like I said, 144 and under, it is weak, and then if it breaks this uptrend line, we're talking more weakness. Okay, Tesla, not a bad recovery. Let's look at the monthly view. Again, nothing too impressive from the monthly perspective, right? If you're talking, there's no bullish monthly bar, right? Just to kind of base off our analysis, our bullish side, bullish, sentiment. We'll see if it goes down 167, makes a double touch, double bottom, and then gets back up above 200. That's a nice setup on a monthly view, on a swing trade perspective, right? On a weekly view, yes, we got this nice, not really nice, but just a decent higher high and a higher low, but Again, it's not a pattern right now. It's not something that's been going on for a while, so we'll have to see what happens, because this 201 area is the rejection area. So we'll see if it wants to go above that. But so far, with market bouncing nice, other names getting a good boost. Tesla did not manage to get above 201 this past week, so that tells me that the underlying price action is still weak, right? So preference would still be to kind of look for a short on strength, right? Let's see. Let's go to daily view right now. Look at this one. So yeah, it just we'll see. 201 sure, from trading perspective. Yeah, I can play the breakout above this 201 towards like 210, 208 level, right? That's where we saw this nice breakdown from. And this could be a sort of a mini inverse head and shoulder kind of a play, with this 201 being the neckline. So definitely worth a setup, but I won't hold it long until or unless I get a nice feeling in a weekly chart that it's holding these levels and things like that, right? In a 4-hourly view, you can see, you can play these setups, right? I mean, in a 1-hourly view right here, it looks like a good bull flag kind of a pattern, right? If it can get above that, this one is more like this one, right? So if it can get above that, we can play towards 201. That's where we saw the rejection from. So if it dips below this one, definitely the bounce could be around 185. Sort of like the back test of this trend line right here. So you gotta just kind of look for these setups, these trend lines, things like that to identify areas that can give you good risk and reward for bounce trades and rejection trades. Okay, let's take a look at Google. So Google remains strong. Nice weekly view, not bad. We got a nice bounce from this 80 area, 81 area, right? And now it's holding this 94 level, right, for the past few weeks now. And the upside 103.4, 104 is my target, right, for one of the swing trades that I'm in. But for even a trade, then definitely if it goes towards 103, 105, I can try a short here just to kind of see a retrace back towards 103 or even a little bit lower, and that's it, right? I'm not gonna hold it for a long time, because that's just from day trading perspective. Yes, you can try a short swing with stop loss around 1111, because that becomes the next upside target, and that can be a stop loss as well for shorts, because the structure remains weak below that, right, from a swing trade perspective. On a daily view, could be a inverse head and shoulder move, right? We got this nice upside break from this sort of downtrend line. Did not quite go to back test it, but it could be Monday. You never know. If it back tests this, could be a nice long setup, and then we move back towards 103 area. That's where we saw the multiple times price get rejected. So yes, go towards that. Short somewhere above that for a retest, and then see how it holds. And if the momentum of the market is there, definitely you can play it for higher prices, things like that. Okay, let's take a look at NVIDIA. Not bad. Weekly view looks strong. Good weekly chart. Higher highs, higher lows, right? No downside follow through to any red week so far. Market participants saw that as an opportunity to get long, right? We got a nice high close in the weekly chart. From structure perspective, if it can get about 173 and then 179 or 180 area, then 193 looks very much doable on a daily view. Nothing, bad. Structure looks nice, I would say. Good daily. Oops, why is this not coming? Okay, good daily view, right? The urgency for the price to get back up has more power than the price to get back down, right? So it's been making these structure-wise higher structure. So now let's see if it can kind of move back above 173, 179. That's where we have multiple touch points, and then 193 on the upside. If it breaks down below this uptrend line, then of course the price structure becomes weak, and then 150, 151 becomes your downside target, as that's where we saw the recent bounce from in the marketplace. Okay. All right, let's talk about AMD. Again, could be a sort of an ascending triangle or something like that with higher lows, right? Things like that, where it's making this pattern right here. So you see a nice move, a little bit of pause, and then eventually break out towards 85, right? If, however, it breaks down below this sort of green trend line, right, in the daily view, then of course you have these weakness towards 71st, and then we'll see how it acts around 70. Does it give it a bounce, or if it wants to break down further, right? But treat this uptrend line as your reference point to kind of stay neutral to bullish towards 79. Okay. All right, Microsoft paid us really well this past week, right? Good price action, chart was strong, no downside follow through to any red week, right? Even this red week was a doji week, so a very weak red bar, right? So showed that the underlying price action remains strong. On a daily view, right? Nice bull flag breakout. You can see right here, right? Nice bull flag breakout right here. Back test. Boom. We saw a nice move back toward 256. Consolidating under that. We'll see, maybe it gets a little bit sideways move before we get towards this downtrend line around 268, it looks like, right? On the weak side, as long as it's above 248, my preference and lean towards the bullish or long trade. Below 248, yes, there's some weakness, and we can still get a move towards 237 if it wants to do that. Okay. And one of the other names that we played this week was Netflix, and Netflix chart actually looks pretty good and still remains nicely bullish, right? You can see this weekly view, and it's dominated by green trend bars, right? 1, 2, 3, and the red bars are seen as an opportunity for the buyers to get long and push the price even back up, right? And then even in the daily view, just actually before we get to the daily view, this is from the structure perspective. If this is a breakout, if this breakout happens right now, right, we get a little bit of pullback towards this 301, 305 level, and then back up. Usually the price breaks out very aggressively, and then this 352 looks very much doable. That's where we have all this breakdown started from, back in the April-May timeframe on the earnings, right? And this had to build all this price structure. So that's where we can definitely move towards in the short term on further strong price action, right? Which it looks very nice. So, or if you get a setup where you get a nice downside pullback towards just under 300, grab those for calls for a nice bounce, right? That would be a good setup, because you will have this trend line, you will have a nice pullback. If you draw sort of a 61% pullback retracement from Fibonacci perspective, that aligns really nicely right here to kind of get long, aggressively for a move back up, right? If it's a stop loss, it would be tight, because just to break below that would be weakness, right? Towards 276 if that happens, right? But other than that, could be a good setup to look for if that plays out, right? On the upside, again, 330 could be a pause. You get rejection because that's a weekly resistance. But then if it breaks out, 352 looks much doable. So could be lotto play too, right? Okay, so let's take a look at a couple of other names from Greenbox perspective, right? What's happening around them very quickly. I'll go in the weekly time frame. ARMK, it did not give me a fill or an order entry. I was looking to get long around 39.2. It never came down, still remains strong. But if it does in the coming few weeks, that could be a nice back test of the resistance turn support, right? Because this was resistance, and now it can be a support on the back test. So keep an open eye on that one as well. HES, I did get in on this one, right? If you could see, this was the area to get long right here. I think I did post that. Where was that? In Trade Ideas? Or yeah, it was in Trade Ideas. So this was the chart that was shared in Trade Ideas that at the back test of 134.1 or 123.4, which is something like this one, right? This could be a good area to get long as well. So, but I did trade this one. I did trim a big chunk or above 145, but I'm still holding a little bit of position in this one. We'll see if it wants to break out based on this, maybe a flag, right, with this one like this one. We'll see if it plays out. But this was a good area to get long in HES. AAL, I'll be looking to initiate a position in this one, sort of a swing trade with what 13 as my stop loss, right? This right area, that's where the structure low is, and I'm going to target 15.5, 16, and if it wants to go higher towards this down trend line, not a bad setup, right? In the daily view, again, yes. Recently it's just been going sideways, and the downside bars, down trend bars, don't see any downside follow through, right? So that tells me that the buyers are kicking in anytime they see a move to the downside and it gets supported. So before it breaks out higher from this area, I want to be long because my risk will be less. You follow me now, right? Okay, a few other names. ADM. This one is getting in the zone, that green box zone, right? This one right here, around or just below under $90, all the way till 87 or 86 even. Does not look that bad, right? So $4 range, you can try to play the what do you call that? A swing trade, right? That's where the sort of green box is. That's where the uptrend line is. So that can be in the cards. AMAT. This one looks better, right? Downside follow through not there to any red week. We have this uptrend line. Let's look at it in the daily view. It's holding. So the setup was to see if it breaks out and then catch it on the back test of this broken downtrend line, which that's where it exactly is right now. And now let's see if it can go towards 112, 119. Stop loss can always be just under 100 or a close below 100, right? So that's how you can kind of try to look at this one. NKE, holding a very light position now since I got in here around 85. I trimmed some at the downtrend line. It broke out, made out this sort of a flaggish, triangle-ish pattern, and now it's again breaking out. So I'm only left with 1/4 of my position. I'll be closing this one towards 118 or even 115. So we'll just take a look at that one. BX, this one is still not come down all the way towards a 75 or even 66. That can be an add too, like on a weekly time frame. Yeah, I mean, you can always pull the trigger here with half position, and then if it goes towards 66, add there, and then that can be your swing, right, back towards 80, 90, something like that, things like that. That's where it kind of comes down to. So hope you guys like this weekly video. If you have any questions, concerns, things like that, let us know. We'll talk. Take care, guys. Have fun.